The night Amora was born, the sky refused to stay calm. Thunder cracked through the village like a warning. Rain fell endlessly, as if the heavens were mourning a child that had just arrived. Inside a small hut, her mother held her close, trembling, not from the pain of childbirth, but from something far worse. Fear. Because this child, this innocent little girl, had already been promised to another man. Years before Amara existed, her father had made a desperate decision. Hunger had eaten through their home. Poverty had stripped them of dignity. And in a moment of weakness, he made a deal. A powerful elder from a nearby village offered him wealth, protection, and survival. But in return, if you ever have a daughter, the elder said, she will become my wife. That night, when Amara was born, the promise became a chain. Her father held her in silence. His hands were shaking. Tears filled his eyes, but he said nothing. Because how do you apologize to a child who doesn't even understand she's been sold? Amara grew up laughing, running barefoot, smiling at the sun like every other child. She didn't know. She didn't know that every step she took was already leading her somewhere she didn't choose. Her mother watched her closely, too closely, holding her longer than necessary, kissing her forehead like time was running out. At night, when Amara slept, her mother would cry quietly beside her, whispering apologies into the darkness. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But Amara never heard them. Not yet. Until one day, everything changed. At the river, where children gathered to laugh and fetch water, a girl looked at her and said something that froze her heart. You shouldn't dream too much, she said. Amara frowned. Why? The girl hesitated, then spoke softly. Because your life is not yours. Those words followed her home. They sat in her chest like a stone. That night, she asked her mother the question that would break everything. Am I already promised to someone? Silence filled the room. Her mother's lips trembled. And then, the truth came out. With tears. With pain. With regret. Amara didn't cry at first. She just sat there. Quiet. Trying to understand how a life could be decided before it even began. But I don't love him, she whispered. Her mother closed her eyes. You don't have to, she said. And that was the moment Amara felt it. The invisible cage around her life. Then, she met Kofi. And for the first time, she felt something she was never supposed to feel. Love. It started small. A smile. A conversation. A shared silence by the river. But slowly, it became everything. Kofi saw her. Not as a promise. Not as property. But as a person. And Amara began to dream. Dangerous dreams. Dreams of choosing her own future. Of loving freely. Of living without chains. One evening, as the sky turned gold, Kofi held her hand gently. Come away with me, he said. We can leave all this behind. Amara's heart ached. She wanted it. She wanted him. But fear wrapped around her like a shadow. My family, she whispered. Kofi looked into her eyes, his voice breaking softly. And what about you, Amara? When will someone choose you? She had no answer. Because deep down, she knew no one ever had. When Amara turned 16, the elders made the announcement. The marriage would happen. There was no celebration in her heart. Only a quiet kind of grief. The kind that doesn't scream. Just slowly eats you from the inside. Her father stopped speaking to her. Her mother couldn't look at her without crying. And Amara felt like she was already gone. Like she was watching her own life disappear, piece by piece. The night before the wedding, she sat alone. staring into the darkness, wondering what it would feel like to wake up next to a man she never chose, to live a life that was never hers. And for the first time, she cried. Not loudly, not dramatically, just soft, broken tears that no one heard. She went to the river one last time. Kofi was there, waiting, like he always did. Come with me, he said again. This is your last chance. This time, his voice wasn't hopeful. It was scared. Because he knew, if she stayed, he would lose her forever. Amora looked at him. Then she looked back at the village, at the only life she had ever known. And suddenly, she realized something. If she stayed, she wouldn't just lose Kofi. She would lose herself. So she took a step forward. Then another. And finally, she whispered, I'm ready. That night, she ran, her heart pounding, her breath shaking, tears streaming down her face as the wind rushed past her. She didn't look back, because she knew, if she did, she might stop. And she couldn't afford to stop. Not now. Not when freedom was finally within reach. Kofi took her hand, and together, they disappeared into the darkness. But freedom is never free. By morning, the village was in chaos. Anger, shame, betrayal. Her family suffered, punished for a choice they didn't make. Her father lost everything. And for the first time, he understood the weight of his decision. Meanwhile, Amora's new life was not easy. There were days she cried from hunger. Nights she questioned everything. Moments she almost gave up. But every time she looked at Kofi, she remembered why she ran. Not just for love, but for herself. Years later, Amora returned. Not as the scared girl who ran away, but as a woman who survived, who chose herself, who broke a chain that was never meant to be broken. Her mother held her like she would never let go. Her father stood in silence, before finally whispering, "Forgive me." And in that moment, Amora realized something powerful. Her story wasn't just about pain. It was about courage. Some traditions protect us, but others silence us. Amora was just a girl who refused to disappear. Like, share and subscribe.